Meanwhile, both the Madlanga Commission and Parliament's Ad Hoc Committee probing allegations of corruption in the criminal justice system have had many South Africans glued to their TV as well as mobile screens. Now, a number of shocking revelations have been made during these various testimonies. And this week has not been any different, with suspended Deputy Police Commissioner, that's General Shadrack Sibiya, and Brown Mogotsi giving testimony at the Madlanga Commission as well as the Ad Hoc Committee, respectively. So let's look at how these processes have made it any clearer, the alleged rot in the criminal justice system, or do we still need a bit more information as far as that is concerned? We speak to Security Strategist Andy Mashaile. Mr. Mashaile, good evening to you, and thank you so much for your time. So when you look at the testimony that we've had this week, how should we, as South Africans, be processing the testimony of General Sibiya as well as the Northwest businessman Brown Mogotsi?
Bongi, good evening to you and to the production team and the viewer at home. This has been a very brutal and bruising session for General Sibiya as well as Mr. Brown Mogotsi. We saw the Madlanga Commission really taking General Sibiya to task. And when you analyze strategically the testimony put forward, or the evidence put forward, or the counter evidence put forward by General Sibiya, we saw the evidence wanting with regard to the allegations made by General Ntantam Kwanazi. In the July 6 press conference, we saw the evidence put forward, the SMS, the WhatsApp chats and the communications, and many of the things that were brought to the fore on the 6th of July, that Sunday of pain and misery and surprise. We saw General Sibiya doing his level best, trying to do his level best with regard to responding to the allegations. But we saw General Sibiya deflecting attention to other people who were mentioned in and around this matter of allegations raised by Ntatem Kwanazi, associating Mr. Ket Matala, or involving Mr. Ket Matala.
Yeah.
He tried his level best to deflect attention from him to others. And we saw on a number of occasions the evidence leader saying, General Sibiya, now let's come back to your testimony. Let's come back to your statement. Let's come back to paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4. It is against that background that we are saying there was an attempt or a strategic move to deflect attention from him.
Yeah.
And a number of bruising questions were asked by Sibaloi. And we saw how brutal the exchanges were. We also, when all of the commissioners were asking very serious questions because of a strategic flaw by General Sibiya of saying quite a lot and exposing himself or exposing vulnerabilities in what he was doing.
So
the same at the Ad Hoc Committee happened.
Yeah. And when you look at all of this, right, would you say that we are in a position now that is becoming a bit more clearer on the apparent, rot or the current state within the criminal justice system, or do we still need a bit more convincing as South Africans?
Bongi, this is a phase-by-phase development, and we saw phase 1 of the allegations, phase 2 of the responses, and a lot came out in the responses by those that were cited by General Ntantam Kwanazi. And we are getting there slowly. Remember, there are names that have come to the fore, including the name of the nephew, if that would be the case, of the deputy president, the late deputy president Mabuza. And in that space of interest to me and other analysts and other professionals in this space would be to find out who in that gun running syndicate offered witness F those military shotguns. So Bongi, we have just started seeing the tip of the iceberg. We have gone beyond the 10%. We are now going towards the 15% of this iceberg of issues that have been brought up by Ntantam Kwanaze's allegations. It is difficult for a whole lot of the those who have been cited to bring counter evidence and respond in a way and manner that counters the allegations and disproving General Ntantam Kwanaze. General Sibiya has not been able to do that up to so far, and Mr. Brown Mogotsi has not been able to do so. Maybe when General Sibiya comes back, he will be able to do that.
And I worry because you speak about only 15%, and one sits here wondering just how much more, is still going to shock us. So let's speak about the one thing that we saw starting all of this, that disbandment letter, and also we saw what happened on the 6th of July, as you've alluded to. So that letter was penned by the suspended police minister, that's Senzo Mchunu. Is it now still a subject of much conversation around what he did or didn't do before and after that disbandment letter was sent?
Bongi, we saw a concession by General Sibiya with regard to the disbandment of the PKTT based on the letter. So that letter is done and dusted, Bongi, with regard to its weaknesses, driving the process and the procedure, as well as institutional command and comply procedure put forward by General Sibiya. He has been cornered by the evidence that has been put forward by the evidence leader in terms of that letter not having the necessary authorization and no authorization having had been written down to say wind up the PKTT now. And given this logic, we have seen General Sibiya conceding that yes, there is no authorization that suggests that he should have disbanded the PKTT. This also spins it out of this realm of safety and security for Minister Mchunu, because once General Sibiya, who was tasked to disband, as he told us, the PKTT, and he has now flipped the coin and say he did not have authorization to do so. It further throws the minister under the bus in that the one person who was working hand in glove with him with regard to the PKTT, as General Sibiya has alleged that it was an instruction from the minister to the National Commissioner to him. And ultimately that concession puts General Sibiya and the minister under the bus.
You and I still need to have part 2 of this conversation because you speak about nearing closer to 15%. I want us to talk about the remainder then to see where exactly things stand as far as the situation there. But I appreciate your time. As always, thank you so much for talking to our security strategist there, Andy Mashaile.